Hey guys, this is Dave, or as my YouTube name states, Blizzard. So, I haven't made a post-game reaction video, like just on its own, in a really long time. Where it's been just the post-reaction video, and then later I would post the thoughts going into the next game. So I'm going to do that today. And then at some point later tonight, before I go to bed, I will make another video and have it up probably early morning tomorrow before I start my day. And I took a couple notes during the game, like I used to do it, and doing the same kind of format, and just going through the different things that either you may have missed in the game, or if you didn't catch the game at all, I'm just recapping most of it, and then at the end of all that, I'm going to give my thoughts on the series going forward and how I thought the game went in its totality. So, I expected the Cavs to lose 115 to 110. That was not the case. And let's start off from the beginning of the game and go into why that ended up not being the case. So, early in the game, the Cavs led by a decent margin, and their largest lead was, at least in the first half, was 12 points. And then early in the first quarter, they were leading by 12, but then with like about a couple seconds or so to go, if I remember correctly, the Warriors cut it to 1. And in terms of like first half notable things that happened, Draymond Green was really off like this whole game, and they either really got into his head or something, because through the first half he had 3 fouls. Same thing with Curry. It was actually statistically his worst shooting night in a very long time, if not the worst statistical shooting night he's ever had in his career. And before the lead was cut to 1, like midway through the first quarter, or midway through the first half, actually, like later in the game, Kevin Durant had nailed a 3, which cut the Cavs' lead to 6, going closer to the end of the first half. And he was basically the engine with which the Warriors were able to win the game, because, as I just stated, Curry struggled mightily, Draymond Green struggled mightily, and through the first half, Curry had 3 fouls and was 1 for 8 from the floor. And I noticed the Cavs had a lot more energy and focus on both ends of the floor, most likely from being at home and being re-energized by the home crowd and being cheered on by their fans. So, in the first half, for other notable players, this on the Cavs end, Kevin Love was 6 for 10 on his shots, and he had 15 points and 10 rebounds, which is pretty good. I'd say that's good production out of Kevin Love through the first half. LeBron was 7 of 15 from 4, and he had 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. I'd say that's pretty damn good through only 2 quarters. And JR was actually a pleasant surprise. He shot 4 for 7 in the first half and had 10 points to go along with 1 rebound and no assists. In terms of bench points, the bench of both teams really did not contribute much through the first half. The Cavs had 13 points off the bench through the first half, and the Warriors had 15. And the lead by halftime was cut to 6 after Durant nailed the 3, so the score was 58-52 by that point. And another really surprising statistic was Cavaliers had no free throw attempts at all through the first half, and I believe the Warriors had 13 and made, I believe it was 12 of them out of their 13. So it was really surprising to see. Now on to the second half. These are like the most notable things I could get out of the second half. At some point in the third quarter, I forget when exactly, Kevin Durant blocked LeBron on a layup attempt. That was pretty crazy to see. And then a 15-3 run allowed the Warriors to get the lead up to 5. And in the end, the Cavs lost 110-102 at home. So, overall, like I said in the last video, I thought Game 1 was their best chance to win because everything went right for them except for the JR blunder and George Hill missing the 1 free throw. Other than that, and the overtime, they played really well. Well enough to have a chance of winning the game, a really good chance, and the Warriors were not playing that well in Game 1. Game 2, Curry had a monster night, and they were not able to overcome that. Game 3, Curry, Draymond Green, and just most of the team in general, other than Kevin Durant, was struggling somewhat. Some less than others, obviously, with Curry and Draymond being the 2 most obvious people that struggled the most in the game. And Durant basically put the Warriors on his back and allowed them to win the game. And if he did not put up the totals that he did in that game, it likely would have been a lot closer of a game. And the Cavs might have even have won that game if Durant also had an off night where it would be Curry, Draymond, and Durant all having off nights, because that would mean Klay Thompson would have had to carry the load. And although he's definitely capable of doing that, he has not had a monster game in a bit, so it would have been really interesting, in my opinion, to have to see if Klay Thompson could have carried the team rather than Durant, because Durant is the second best player in the world, and he's definitely capable of doing it night in and night out if he has to. But it would have been really interesting to see Klay Thompson and see if he'd be able to carry the load unexpectedly through the whole game. That would have been really interesting to see if he could pull it off. And if that were the case, possibly we'd be looking at a 2-1 series deficit instead of a 3-0 series deficit. I just thought that was a really interesting angle with which to look at it from. In terms of Game 4, I'm not too sure what I expect out of either team, so I'm gonna think about it while I'm at work and just after work a little bit before I make the video. Think about it just a little bit more, go through the various matchups and statistics, and see who I think is going to win the game outright. Most likely, the Warriors will win, but I want to have the point total, guess it like I used to do with that, and the prediction for who I think will win the game, and give projections of where I think different players are going to be stat-wise in the next game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video before I head off to work at 6, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.